Good stuff. So I'm recording the interview. Marta Gabriel, how's it going with you? And I see you got a pretty cool background behind you.
Yeah, pretty 80s, isn't it?
Yeah, you got some interesting stuff.
Yeah, I even have Rambo poster on my wall. It's not visible. You can see Predator and Bloodsport, and the next one is Rambo, the first blood. So
Okay.
I'm a kind of an 80s fan. So
That's awesome. I mean, they made the best movies back then.
yes, that's true. I remember myself as a little girl watching Rambo over and over again. So I'm a fan until now.
Metal Queen's coming out in July, end of July 30th. Let me just tell you, this is a great product. Your promo photo for the album artwork, it's pretty classic 80s right there. And the sound quality, let's say to Metal Queen by Lee Aaron, I'm sure she'd be thrilled to hear that. It sounds good. Very good voice.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for a compliment. Glad you like it.
I like it. How was it working on this album and finding the songs to work on and choosing them, let's say?
Last year in August, with my band, with Crystal Viper, we finished working on the Cult album, which was released at the beginning of this year. And we knew that we won't be playing live shows and so on because of this pandemic situation. So we simply decided to work on next music projects to, first of all, stay busy, to not get bored. And, working on music, this is something that we all really enjoy, which makes our lives better and better. So when the album, The Cult from Crystal Viper was ready, we immediately started to work on another project, which are not really connected with Crystal Viper. And one of them was Metal Queens. And I came up with this idea. To be honest, I didn't think about that for a lot of time. Everybody loved it immediately, and actually it was done in kind of very short period of time. Regarding, choosing songs themselves, it wasn't very hard for me because this is music that I listen on daily basis. This is the music that I like. I really like, let me put it that way. Classic heavy metal is my favorite genre among others in metal. This is a genre that stays closest to my heart. I, of course, listen to other genres I even like death metal, black metal. I love 70s rock, but classic heavy metal is a genre that I enjoy most. And when I came up with this idea to record this album, Metal Queens, I simply created a list of my favorite bands with ladies behind the microphone. And it wasn't very difficult for me because I did that very quick. Which was very difficult for me was choosing only 10 or 11 songs because the very first list was much longer than the numbers of songs you can see on the album. And I had to limit myself to 10 or 11 songs only because I knew we want to release this album on vinyl as well. And when you are releasing an album on a vinyl, your time is very limited. So probably if we wouldn't decide so, it would be a double album or something like that. But I already have an idea. I mean, maybe not idea, but I would love to record the songs that remain on that list that I didn't record for this Metal Queens album. That would be amazing, but I believe it's a little bit too early to think about that, even though it's not even been released now. So, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit early because the album's not released yet. Let's say count your blessings, the YouTube promo video you guys made. How is it working in the pandemic situation right now? Because of working itself, it's got to be a little bit different.
Working on this music video was very difficult actually because I recorded Metal Queens album with my colleagues from Crystal Viper, with my bandmates, and we live in different countries.
Okay.
and we couldn't meet. We actually haven't seen each other for 16 months, probably right now. We haven't seen each other since March last year. So it was like Eric was shooting himself in Germany, drummer Cedric was shooting himself in Sweden, and we were shooting myself here in Poland. And then we gathered all tracks together and created music video. And that was the only difficult part. But I wish we could do the video in different way. You know, it's always different when you can see entire band head banging together in music video. It's totally different energy when you see, you know, musicians working with each other in the video, having fun together. We couldn't do that this time, but I really hope that this crazy situation will change soon and we will be able to shoot, first of all, music video with Crystal Viper, because we recorded an album and we have no promo stuff. We don't even have promo photos. We have completely, absolutely nothing. And it's the same with Metal Queens. And the other difficult thing with Metal Queens, it's also the same thing like with Crystal Viper album. We recorded this album completely remotely. I mean, since I'm active as a metal musician, since I'm recording music, I was always working in the recording studio. I was never recording things professionally at home. So due to this pandemic stuff, I had to become my own sound engineer in my home recording studio. But I've learned that. I believe that my bandmates also have learned a lot of stuff. And now we know it's possible. And I believe we will continue recording like that because it's pretty comfortable. But in some ways, the other thing is that I missed that studio climate, you know, entire band sitting together, working on music, and the outside world doesn't exist for you at all. It's something completely different than when you are working alone at home. But we made it, and that's the most important. Probably we will all meet next month all together for the first time. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. Hope we'll make it.
So now it's like working at home, like an office job. You're working at home making music.
Yeah, working at home all the time. So, you know, sometimes people are asking me if this pandemic situation changed a lot in my life. And the truth is, it didn't change almost anything because I was always working at home. So it's not like I was going out to another office or to another job. I was always working on music. I was always working at home, so it was always like that. The only thing that was different to me was not possible to travel and not seeing my friends, because the truth is most of my friends live outside Poland, and I really miss traveling. I miss Spain and Greece. Those are my two favorite countries here in Europe. And we have a lot of friends out there. Yeah.
You have to find some friends in Poland.
I do have some, but not many. Truth is, not a lot of friends in Poland.
So is the scene opening up at all? Let's say in your region or somewhere in Europe?
Well, yes and no. We were about to play some shows this summer, but they have been postponed. So it's exactly the same situation as it was in last year. And there are some shows that will probably happen, but I don't think it's a good idea to speak about it right now because it makes no sense to tell you the dates, which I'm not even sure if they will happen. For example, we were about to play a tour, very long tour last year, and it was postponed 4 or 5 times. And right now we know this tour will happen, but no one knows when, actually. I believe it will be very difficult due to those, you know, vaccines, tests on airports, and so on. There are still those kind of situations that, for example, if you are going on tour and someone will be tested, and the test will turn out it's positive and someone has coronavirus, he will not cross the border. So you can to play a live show. So this is how it looks like right now in Europe. And you know, the other thing which is weird to me, and is that every country has completely different regulations. So for example, you can go to Czech Republic without tests and without anything, but you cannot go to Germany. So yeah, it's different. And I think this is this is what makes some difficulties when it comes to touring at the moment.
Right. It's gonna change a lot, you know, from here to let's say 3-4 years down the road, because we don't know what's going on, and let's just hope that when the music comes back at the stage, people will be super happy and excited to get out of their house and watch it, you know, and participate in it.
You know, I personally cannot wait to go on stage so bad that I feel like when I will go on stage for the first time after such a long break, I have no idea what will happen. I will have to, I don't know, maybe kind of limit myself or pay a lot of attention to not get too excited or something like that. I really don't know, but yeah, we all cannot wait to go back on stage. Yeah, both with Crystal Viper, and the kind of interesting stuff is with Metal Queens. I already started receiving offers to go on tour with this project. So yeah, this is something what I would love to do, to take those songs, you know, on stage playing live. I already have a plan if this will happen, because I'm not sure if you know, I recorded bass guitar for Metal Queens album, but on stage I know I will be playing probably guitar, not bass guitar. So yeah, I was thinking about everything, but for now we only need live shows to happen. So
right, because there's no live shows. Let's say for, you know, playing different instruments and singing, how much hours do you dedicate, you know, in a week, let's say, to playing bass, to, you know, rehearsing or practice, or guitar, and then, you know, maybe keyboards, I don't know, and vocals, you know, how do you set your practice stuff?
almost every day, because I keep on recording music. So it's not like that, for example, I sit with my piano and doing some warming ups or playing some, you know, stuff to train my fingers, because I play piano, for example, since I was 7. So actually piano is my very first instrument, but it's not like I'm sitting and practicing something. I usually practice playing instruments when I'm composing my songs. So, and this is actually how I learned playing guitar, because as I said, piano is my first and main instrument. I learned playing guitar when Crystal Viper was already an active band. We were releasing albums, playing live shows in entire Europe and so on. And one day I simply decided that I want to learn playing guitar, and I was learning playing guitar while I was composing my own songs. And exactly the same was with bass guitar, and it works until today. I'm practicing while composing songs.
And practicing while composing, it is probably the best way to do it, because you're learning and you're improving the song structures, let's say, and all that stuff.
Yes, and sometimes it's kind of annoying, because sometimes I have in my head an idea and I cannot play it.
And so that can be complicated.
So I just sit and practicing it, mostly on guitar, because I'm playing piano for 30 years right now. So it's very rare that there is something that I can't play on piano, but mostly with guitar and bass. Because I started playing guitar quite late. It was in my mid-20s or something like that. So yeah.
Okay. Well, you're doing a very good job at it, and you know, everything, it all mends together and blends together. So very good.
Thank you. I'm doing my best. Thank you.
And let's say for the artwork of this album, it's, you know, you have that guitar, you know, mountain top. Where did the idea come from, and was it like totally green screened, or how, you know, painted? How was it done?
Actually, the cover art for Metal Queens album, it's an actual painting. It's an art painted by a real artist, Mario Lopez. and he's a fantastic artist. He also painted Crystal Viper cover arts. And the idea came from my producer, who is also my husband. So when I had this idea to record this album, we sat together and he told me about his idea for this cover art, me standing on the hill with this, you know, with a lot of fire and me with flying V guitar. I immediately loved this idea. And so we contacted Mario. He also loved that idea. He was, I believe he was having also as well a lot of fun when he was working on that cover art. And I also like it in a way that you can see on the cover art my favorite guitar ever, probably. So it's one of my favorite guitars, but when it comes to playing live, because on stage I usually play V-shape guitars, and at home I play more regular shape because they are more comfortable when you are sitting and playing.
And a little bit harder to play while recording and sitting down with a flying V.
Yes, this is horrible.
Yeah. What types of amps do you use?
On stage, I was using mostly Lenny, but I just got a Marshall. I don't remember another Marshall because I already have one. The new model is, I cannot see from here. I don't remember, but I only know it sounds totally beautiful. So if the live shows will happen on summer, I will probably go on tour with this new Marshall because it sounds absolutely beautiful. And right now I'm speaking only about live gear. But when it comes to recording at home, I'm using this little body.
Okay.
Yeah, and I play with this one because I can play with headphones. I can record from this one. I'm also using Fender Abbey pedal to record clean tracks because when it comes to mixing albums and stuff, we need clean tracks, and I send them over to our drummer because he has his own recording studio. He actually did mixes of Metal Queen's album, and he mixed our previous album, The Cult. And the stuff he's using for all of his projects, I believe, are Kempers. But I don't own Kemper myself. But my favorite... Sorry?
What? No, I was just going to go back to the Mel Queen's album, but you know, when's the first time you ever discovered Lee Aaron, Canadian artist?
When I discovered Lee Aaron?
Yeah.
I don't really remember. You know, it's even difficult for me to tell you the specific time when I discovered heavy metal music, because since I was a kid, there was so much music and around me for every day, every single minute. You know, when I was 7, my parents sent me to music school, so I started playing piano. So there was a lot of classical music around me. My father was bringing vinyls home, you know, from bands like Queen, Bon Jovi, Europe. I believe there were some Uriah Heep stuff as well. Later, when I was a teenager, I discovered some punk music, but it was a very short period of time because right after that I discovered heavy metal. And I remember my first heavy metal bands were bands like Virgin Steel, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, stuff like that. And later, I discovered heavy metal bands with female vocalists much later. So at the beginning, I didn't even know that they exist. So yeah. And Lee Aaron, I really don't remember, but for sure when I heard her for the first time, I was like, wow, what a voice. And I still react like that. Sometimes when I'm listening to her albums, I'm just amazed by her vocals.
And I'm amazed that you're hitting the pitches, you know, for Metal Queen, because it is a high caliber song, you know, for the voice, and you're just nailing it.
You know, before those songs, before I made the final decision to record those songs, I sat together with my producer and I was trying to sing all of them, how I sound with them. If, for example, I had somewhere at the back of my head, I had this thought that some of those songs that I choose might not be perfect for my voice. And the truth is, when I'm recording a cover song, I always try to give my best, and I always want to make it sound good. So when I'm singing a cover song and when I hear that it doesn't sound pretty cool with my voice, I just don't do that. But with these songs that I choose for Metal Queens album, it didn't happen, luckily. So I felt pretty comfortable with all of them. Of course, I had to practice them before I recorded them. It's normal, but I'm pretty happy with the final result, to be honest. And I'm very proud of this album, and it's a huge honor for me that I was able to pay tribute to my favorite female vocalists.
Where you get a t-shirt like Chastain in Poland?
Yes, I didn't get it in Poland. I probably got it at some festivals.
Okay.
Outside Poland, yeah. Recently, I posted on my Facebook page a photo of me wearing Acid t-shirt. People keep on asking me, where did you get that t-shirt? And I don't remember. It was probably somewhere outside of Poland, and probably at the festivals. And probably at the Keep It True festival, because at the Keep It True festival, you can get the best old school stuff.
Now, let's say, in promoting this new album, Metal Queens, will you have more promo videos coming out soon? You know, in surgeons of promoting this, because I mean, YouTube seems to be the way now to grab people's attention.
I do plan some stuff to record, but I don't want to tell right now to not spoil the surprise, because it will be something different than Count Your Blessings. The truth is that producing music videos, it's the most expensive way of promoting your music. And sometimes it's better to save the money and focus on, on producing merchandise or something like that than to shoot one video. But I'm thinking about that, and for sure there are more stuff coming out very soon, but let's keep it surprise, because I don't want to spoil the surprise.
Of course. And Marta, let's say making a vinyl, I'm sure that's a special thing for you. And I mean, to have your name on it, on a vinyl, that's impressive.
Yes, and this is something very cool for me as well, because as I said, I remember vinyls since my very early age. My father was bringing vinyls, and there were a lot of vinyls in entire house. So I'm kind of familiar with them since I was a child. And if I'm not wrong, all Crystal Viper albums also have been released on a vinyl. And nowadays, I believe that people are buying more vinyls than CDs, actually. Because, CD is digital, and in 21st century, when you want to listen something digital, you can use Spotify or you can listen on YouTube and so on. And the truth is, vinyl has a little bit different sound. And it's a kind of, to listen a vinyl, you can do all those stuff to unpack it, to put it on your, CD record player, and then you sit and listen to vinyl. It's magic. For me, it's total magic. And I believe if there are collectors or fans of some bands right now, they are choosing more to buy vinyls. And this is what I actually do. When I just want to listen something, okay, I'm using Spotify on my mobile because it's much easier, because even in my car, I don't have a CD player right now. If I want to listen to music in the car, I'm using a pen drive. So it's digital, right? And vinyl, it's something completely different. I feel when I'm listening to vinyl, I feel like I'm listening to music, for real. It's not something invisible. The music is kind of physical, gets physical for me.
Right. And it does carry a warmth to it. And it is like a ritual to come and put it on and do all that thing. So you're not giving an online view to it either. Nobody knows you played it, so it's invisible.
Yeah, that's true. And ritual, this is the word that I missed. English is my second language, and sometimes I'm thinking about words and I simply forget them. But yeah, listening to vinyls it's like ritual, and it's absolutely beautiful. I remember last year, together with my husband, we bought Mike Oldfield vinyl. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this artist. It's a kind of a niche when it comes to music. And probably Mike Oldfield is my favorite artist ever. My father showed me Mike Oldfield when I was a child, and I love Mike Oldfield since then. And his music from vinyls is even more magical than from CDs and so on. So yeah, vinyls is a real thing. Big stuff.
Good stuff. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me today. Our time is running out, and I wish you luck and success with this new album, Metal Queens. And it's sounding good. Your attitude's perfect on the album. The video, excellent. So just keep up the great work.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the interview, for a nice talk, and for your support. It really means a lot. Thank you.
All right. You have a beautiful day, and talk again in the future.
Yeah, hopefully. Bye.
Bye-bye.